Hello, good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. Residents in Stannington are still without gas 1 week on as temperatures plummet. And astronaut Tim Peake visits an inner-city school in Leeds for a lesson that's out of this world. Hello, thanks for your company this evening. It's the 7th day without heating and cooking facilities for hundreds of families in the Stannington and Malling Bridge areas of Sheffield after water from a burst pipe leaked into a gas main. Around 600 properties still have no gas, but it's hoped the majority will be reconnected by the end of the weekend. Nicola Rees has our top story.
This is the moment residents on Pond Close have been waiting for. For 7 days, Grace has been struggling to keep her daughter warm in freezing temperatures. Now, finally, she has heat.
Very excited when they told me that the gas is back on. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, touch it. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
This was the nightmare residents faced on Friday last week when water suddenly spewed out of gas meters and cookers. We now know 1 million litres flooded into the gas network after a water mains burst.
The property on the end, they went off, then came back on again. So they're pretty much priority. Hopefully we'll clear it this time.
Hundreds of engineers have been working around the clock, but progress has been slow.
We've got 60% of the customers in the Stannington area and the Malling Bridge area back on gas. So by the end of the day, we're looking to get all of Stannington back on gas, and then that will leave some restoration activities within the Malling Bridge area.
Why has it taken so long?
In my experience, water ingresses are tricky, and each one is very different. So on this particular job, we've got a lot of water in the system, which takes a while to locate and clear, but also because of the large spread of water between here and Malling Bridge, again, that adds some complexity to the operation.
Down the road, Alan is not so optimistic that he'll be reconnected anytime soon.
It's freezing cold, and you know we're not the most vulnerable, but you dry yourself on the towels. Don't forget we've no hot water, no showers, none of that. What we want some information. We want them to tell us. We want to give us some hope.
At the village hardware store, fuel for wood burners is stocked up daily. Rennie runs the shop and says she's never known a time like it.
I've had several people in this morning not reconnected, you know, sleeping in jumpers, woolly hats, things like that. People want answers. I think right now it's about getting back to normal, but I think once it is, you know, people aren't complaining now because they're just helping each other out, pulling together. But I think afterwards we will all want answers, absolutely.
Taking my slippers off to come out here today, and my carpet is so cold I could hardly even stand on it.
How long is it going to go on for? You know, is there an end to it?
The residents of Stannington are no nearer to understanding how this happened, but the scale of the incident has prompted calls for an inquiry. Nicola Rees, BBC Look North.
Let's hope they are reconnected really soon because it's freezing out there, isn't it? Next tonight, the number of school children who take up smoking is declining, but listen to this, the figures suggest that the number who've started vaping is on the rise. A recent survey carried out across secondary schools and sixth forms in Yorkshire found about 1 in 5 pupils had tried it. Health experts say it still contains nicotine, which is as addictive as heroin. In York, the council is offering help to children who are trying to quit. Michelle Lyons takes up the story.
We're going to work on vaping today and talk about the harmfulness that can be caused by vaping.
Year 10 students at Huntington Secondary School in York are being taught the facts about vaping. It's become a growing trend amongst young people in recent years, who often try it just to be social. But some become hooked, like 14-year-old Lily.
So Lily, when did you start vaping?
Towards the end of year 7, because I was used to my parents doing it and obviously seeing them with a vape in their hand. So I obviously tried it then, and then when I got more addictive, it would have been the start of this year and towards the end of last year. And then ever since then, just had it more or less every day.
It's a growing habit amongst school children, which teachers are trying to stop.
We've noticed a huge increase in it, especially since coming back from lockdown. We've had students vaping in the toilets, which we've had to deal with, vaping on the school bus, vaping outside the school, and yet I think they see each other doing it, so it creates a group mentality of, oh, well, I'll try it then.
Now health trainers from the City of York Council are helping children to quit.
We'd offer them around about 12 weeks worth of one-to-one support. We look at behavioural change, we look at the actual nicotine addiction from that side, and then the social and emotional side, which is sort of the three sides of the triangle of addiction to smoking or vaping. And we'd support them through that to be able to hopefully get them off that.
In this class, a number of students have already tried e-cigarettes, some just out of curiosity, but others are now regular users.
I got into it about maybe start of year 8, end of year 7. I tried it and I liked the flavour of it, and I bought one and started doing it, and then just got addicted to it.
It's sort of almost catered towards kids, because you see all the flavours, I couldn't list any of them, but they're definitely sort of you could get sweets with the same flavours.
Even if I don't have one, someone else will, and that will just tempt me to have a go on it.
Do you wish you never started?
Yeah, because I waste a lot of money on them.
Health experts in North Yorkshire have noticed that a lot more children are taking up vaping, and that's something they're concerned about.
It is very addictive. Nicotine is as addictive as heroin, and so in that sense you probably will get hooked quite easily, and as we aren't entirely sure about some of the harms yet, it's probably not the best thing to be doing.
It's illegal for anyone under the age of 18 to buy e-cigarettes, but many young people are still getting hold of them. Michelle Irons, BBC Look North, York.
I'm sure that's a story we're going to keep coming back to. An inquest into the death of a millionaire who was killed during a land speed attempt at Elvington Airfield has heard that he had taken one hand off the wheel to deploy a parachute. Zef Eisenberg, who was 47, was trying to prove he had created the world's fastest Porsche and was attempting a record flying mile when he was killed in October 2020. The coroner recorded his death as misadventure. A Sheffield mom has told Look North she had to contact 15 pharmacists to get the antibiotics she needed to treat her poorly son. Carly Baker says it was a really worrying time as the son had scarlet fever. Meanwhile, a pharmacist in the city says this is the worst antibiotic shortage he's seen in 50 years. Abagiola has more.
What? Oh, that is off.
3-year-old Barney's on the mend now, but he has been very poorly with scarlet fever caused by a strep A infection. His symptoms included a red scaly rash, high temperature and sore throat. His GP prescribed antibiotics, but mum Carly says she struggled to get the liquid medicine he needed.
So I just often went to my local pharmacy, the one I normally go to. They not got it in. So whilst I was there, I just rang my other pharmacy, another one that's quite local. They'd not got it in. I rang about 15 to 20 pharmacies over Sheffield, Rotherham, Worksop. Not one had got this particular antibiotic in stock.
Martin has run Wicker Pharmacy for half a century, but is finding it hard to get stocks of some antibiotic medication that children need because of an increased demand and an unseasonal spike in infections. He says anyone who has a problem should ask their GP to prescribe an alternative.
At the moment, there's probably more shortages than we've ever had in my last 50 years of working in pharmacy, far more. But with antibiotics, in the past, we've never had really much of a problem. There's perhaps been an odd occasion when a specific one's not available, but this is widespread.
Good afternoon, Burley Health Centre. Kerry speaking, can I help?
At this doctor's practice, they've seen more and more worried parents calling for advice after reports of a higher than usual number of strep A cases across the country.
It's been very busy this week. I think there's always quite a lot of viral illness around at this time of year, but I think certainly people have been concerned by what they've heard in the media. This is a condition that we're very familiar with, we're very capable of managing, and we're used to it having a peak in the winter, and this invasive form is very, very rare.
It's hoped antibiotic stocks will improve over the next few days. The message to parents is be vigilant but not alarmed. Abby Jayola, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Now listen to this. Children at a primary school in Leeds have had an astronomical visitor today. Astronaut Tim Peake dropped in to tell them all about his adventures in space. Kathy Killick went along.
Nice. Look at this is fantastic. Hi there, can I get a high five? High fives around.
A space-tastic line-up for a stellar visitor. Like most of us, the children at St Peter's C.V. Primary had never met an astronaut, so they gave Tim Peake a hero's welcome. After blasting off in December 2015, Tim Peake spent 6 months at the International Space Station, even leaving it at one point to repair a solar panel.
Whatever you'd like on the equipment lock.
His experiences in gravity-free surroundings captivated the children, and they were brimming with questions.
What's your favourite thing about space?
I think the favourite thing is the view, because nothing can fully prepare you for looking out the window and seeing planet Earth from space.
How do you have a shower in space?
We don't. It's a camping wash in space, no showers, so we just have a wet towel and towel ourselves down.
Tim Peake is in Leeds as a guest of the Yorkshire Children's Charity. They've been working with the school to enrich the children's lives and broaden their horizons.
People like astronauts we see on TV, but that's no substitute to meeting somebody in person who's had that first-hand experience. I think the children will remember it for the rest of their lives.
I know, I'm really old now. I'm 50. But it's so important, I think, to be able to inspire the younger generation and also to raise aspirations as well, because the Space Agency is looking for people from all sorts of areas and all sorts of backgrounds to come and join them.
And who knows what marvels they might discover? Aliens, perhaps, Tim?
Let's have a show of hands. Who thinks there are aliens?
The hand's gone up. Tim Peake believes in aliens. That's a lesson in itself. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Well, if Tim believes, I'll believe as well, because he must know. Look who's back. Lovely to have you here, Abby.
Thank you.
How are your travels?
Lovely, thank you. Much warmer than it is out there at the moment.
You're feeling the chill, aren't you?
Really feeling the chill. I think we're all feeling the chill, aren't we? Because it is mighty cold, our first real cold snap of the winter, and it's set in for the weekend and into the start of next week as well. We do have a weather warning in force for ice. That's been issued by the Met Office. It's across parts of North and West Yorkshire, parts of North Derbyshire as well. So it might be worth heading to the BBC Weather website to find all the details on the warnings. But the satellite from today shows that it has been a beautiful day. We've been really spoiled, haven't we? Lots of crisp winter sunshine. There'll be a little bit more cloud milling around, I think, actually, over the next couple of days, and that might just affect our temperatures slightly. So I think we'll probably see them a little bit down on where they have been, even lower. Overnight tonight, then, that cloud will start to roll in. I think western-facing hills might see 1 or 2 showers. They'll be falling as a mix of sleet and snow, even down to lower levels, with temperatures overnight as low as -2 or -3 degrees. So I think some mist and fog around first thing tomorrow morning. That could be quite slow to clear. Our high waters for tomorrow, Filey at 5:19, then again at 5:28. So in the places where the mist and fog is slow to clear, temperatures are going to really struggle, perhaps not even getting above freezing. More cloud around in general, the risk of a couple of isolated wintry showers, but I think generally speaking a dry and settled day for many. Some winter sunshine mixed in with our temperatures about 2 or 3 degrees once again. There'll be more cloud overnight into Sunday, but still our temperatures will widely be dropping at below freezing. Sunday itself, a lot more cloud around, but a largely dry and settled day. Temperatures in some places won't get above freezing, 1 degree through Monday and Tuesday as well. So a very similar story into the start of next week. Our winds might just start to pick up a little bit, move around to more of a northerly around Wednesday, and that could pull in a few wintry showers along North Sea coast, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But for the weekend, very cold but settled, Amy.
Fighting, thank you. Make sure you wrap up warm and have a lovely weekend. That's it from us. Bye-bye.